May I request everyone to please stand up and put ourselves in the presence of Lord as we pray. Good morning, class. How are you today? Very well. I'm glad to hear that. Please remain standing for a quick energizer. What you are going to do is to clap your hands into 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 to the left and cross your arms and say thank you. Let's do it. Thank you, ma'am. Class Biddle, please check all the attendance. Row 1 Biddle, Row 2 Biddle, and Row 3 Biddle. Very good. Everyone is present today. Class, kindly pick up some pieces of paper, and after that, you can settle down. Thank you. Who can recall the previous lesson? Yes, Anna. Very good. We discussed about action verb. Nor, please give 3 examples of action verb. Very good. Those are examples of action verb. How can action verb help the students? Yes, Anita. Very impressive. Action verb can help the students to identify what is action verb. Now let's proceed to the spot the error. You will answer the spot the error, and let's see your answer is correct or not. Very good. Let's see if your answer is all correct. Okay, you got all correct answers. What have you noticed? Did you find difficult in spotting the error? Okay. We have 2 types of voices of the verb. The active voice and the passive voice. Active voice occurs when the subject of the sentence acts as the performer or doer of the action, while the passive voice indicated the subject of the sentence is the receiver of the action, though it is not always present. The doer of the action in the passive introduced by the preposition by. We have examples of active and passive voice. Active voice examples. The teachers prepared the materials for their classes. So the subject is teachers, the doer of the action. And the predicate, the receiver of the action, is materials. Now let's proceed to the passive voice. The materials were prepared by the teachers for their classes. So the subject is materials, receiver of the action. As I've said before, it is opposite to active voice. So teachers predicate, the doer of the action. In transforming a verb from active to passive voice, or vice versa, take note the tense of the verb. If the verb is in active voice, it is in present tense. The passive voice should always be in passive voice and vice versa. However, the form of the verb as to is or the form of the verb is simple forms varying depending on the number of the subject. In passive voice, the main verb is usually introduced by an auxiliary verb. We have simple present tense. A simple present tense active examples. Jason prepares his meals. In the passive voice, his meals are prepared by Jason. B. Simple present tense. Ethan informed his clients on the status of their order. Simple future tense. The students will submit the report by tomorrow, and the passive, the report will be submitted by the students tomorrow. D. Present perfect tense. Active examples. The school has decided to shut off its operations, and its operation has been decided to shut off by school. And E, the last, past perfect tense. Athena had studied English before she moved to the US. And the passive, English has been studied by Athena before she moved to the US. And lastly, future perfect tense. Anthony will have baked the cake before the leaves. And the passive, the cake will have been baked by Anthony before the leaves. What is the voices of the verb? Describe, active voice. And how about the passive voice? How can you convert the active voice into passive voice? And vice versa. I will divide the class into 3 groups, and I will give a specific task. And I will be given 7 minutes to prepare the preparation for their work. And for the group 1, make a short story. Use active and passive voice in the story. And for the group 2, create a short skit conversation. Use active voice in the presentation. And lastly, for the group 3, make a short song using the passive and active voice. Okay, very good. Now let's proceed. In a 1/2 sheet of paper, write if the sentence is active and passive, it is passive voice. Very good. Very good. Your answer is all correct. Now for your assignment, search for the 5 active verbs and convert it in passive ways. That's all for today. And have a great day. Goodbye, class.